So Eddie, y'all, welcome to my stream. I just realized that I had not made myself smaller. When I'm doing my vlogs, I make myself bigger. So you can see me better here on my camera. Okay, we're gonna try a new game together today. And I say that I have actually started it, but I haven't played it very long. And we're gonna start it together so you can see the beginning. I'm gonna have to adjust the in-game volume as well, by the way. I'm so dyslexic. Okay, it's called Sovereign Syndicate. And again, welcome to my stream. I hope everyone's doing wonderfully. We just had a very serious vlog. And now we're going to say, fuck the world, let's play. Right? Okay. So, hit the play button and see what the in-game sound is, how loud it is. Because my headphones are turned down way low. It's not too bad.
Discover a world of magic and steam technology. An alternate London where mythical creatures coexist with humans. Explore the city's East End and get to know its inhabitants. There are powerful figures here with enough wealth and station to bend the city to their will. But be careful. The Docklands aren't for the faint of heart.
Steampunk May signal. I love it. So first of all, I want to also take a moment to welcome my new followers. I will give you a mixture of stuff. We will be doing some serious vlogs talking about the corruption and the New World Order and things like that. And talking about how you shouldn't let people scare you off by leaving things as conspiracy theories. We talked about that today. We will also, however, be gaming. Gaming is my passion. I've been gaming since I was 10 years old, which is a long time ago, as you see. I need to get my hair colored again, but I haven't done. So I will do eventually. I played tabletop games. Dungeons and Dragons. What was it? There was a mech one that we played when I was at university. I actually love cyberpunk stuff. I love steampunk stuff. I'm an historian by training, although I wasn't allowed to practice it here in Germany because my education from the US was not acknowledged by the Germans. They stole decades of my life. With that crap, and now they acknowledge the education of people from third world countries. It's just bullshit. Anyhow, though, so this is set in Victorian London. I don't know how many of you know much about Victorian London. Very fascinating period of time. There were a lot of very rich portions, very well-to-do portions of London, and there were a lot of slum portions of London, and they ended up back to back with each other. It's quite fascinating. So first, I'm going to go ahead and leave the volume where it is. It seems quite okay. Let's start a new game. Okay, there's a lot of reading in here. I am glad to read for you. Atticus Daly, Chapter 1, Beggar's Lane. Follow Atticus Daly as he explores the seedy underbelly of London's East Docklands in search of his mother, a reason for living, and his next fix. He is, in point of fact, a drug addict. Was looking at these runic symbols on his collar. It's quite interesting. So they did say that there are mythical creatures, and he is clearly a minotaur. So we can select, however, his archetype. This gives us a roleplay element to the game. Atticus is a prisoner to the voices in his mind. Let's see, which one is that? Okay, well, sorry about that. I figured that was one of these. So, archetype animal instinct, blaming his fiery temper on his minotaur blood. He embraces intimidation and combat, swearing he has a handle on his vices. So, the tarot cards are involved. If you are a person who feels that the tarot cards are evil, this is not a game for you. I used to lay tarot cards when I was younger. I've explored a lot of stuff throughout my life, by the way. Candle magic, protection spells, all sorts of stuff. Various religions. I'm Actually, have a great deal of life experience and knowledge. So, let's see what the next one is. Spryness. As a magician, he is trained in escape tricks and sleight of hand. He is light-footed and nimbled for a minotaur. Okay, I'm not very good myself at playing magician-like characters, especially illusionists, in the direction of illusionists. Rationality, okay, this is wit. Rationality suits him in a world that is unforgiving. He meets challenges with a silver tongue and understands basic machinery. Self-discipline. He grew up in a crowded orphanage using illusionary magic to disguise himself as a human. He moderates his urges and keeps a cool head. So we didn't look at the other cards. This is the High Priestess. This is the Star. And this one is the Hermit. And I think we're going to start with this one. So he will have the Hermit. He will be self-reliant. His wit is +8. Self-discipline is +5. And animal instinct is +2, which leaves us at a lack of the spryness, which is fine. Your choices, by the way, do have an effect on your character in this game. Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask and he will tell you the truth, which is the internet is our mask very frequently. Or being in a car. Do you ever notice the difference when people meet each other on the street? Oh, pardon me, excuse me. And they meet in cars. Honk, honk, get the fuck out of the way. A dark shape looms over you. Against the guttering lamplight, the black shadowed form hovers unsteadily like a cutout in a magic lantern. You can't be sure whether it's a real living thing or another grim manifestation of your week-long bender, which at first blush you appear to have survived. Or is it the face of death come to claim you? In any case, the specter seems to be in no hurry to move along. Painful memories prick your gin-addled brain. You recall why you're here. You chose this alleyway in London's East End to drown the last of your days in drink. Well, if this apparition isn't the angel of death, then even at suicide you have failed. So, old crone, Atticus, he's coming, wake up. We only have one choice. Get out of my head, you old crone. And then you'll see that then lights up. Okay, and you need to click the ellipse. Masked stranger, Atticus Daly. Wit. That's what we chose, okay? There's these different aspects of yourself that will also interact with you. Nothing but a dark silhouette for a face. No, it's a mask. Self-reflection. His voice is cold and mechanical, like the hinge of a heavy iron door, concealing his identity, no doubt. So we have one choice, that's self-discipline. Now, this is the way this works. When you choose that, it will make a check. It says it's a very easy skill check. Doesn't mean you can't fail, folks. Let me tell you. So you have an 88% chance of being able to succeed. Okay. We have the Knight of Cups. Who are you? Instead of a response, he proffers me, I've always heard proffers me, a tin stippled flask. Now, there are words that you can hover over, by the way, that will help you to understand, because they use a lot of the dialect from the time in this game. I've not got too far into this game. I just thought it would be a good thing to show you today, though. Since not very many people seem to be still interested in the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is a shame because the servers are up and working. Self-reflection, a small kindness. Okay, so we can wave it off or we can take it eagerly. And let's wave it off. We need to get out of that. Masked stranger, very well. Then suit yourself. Spryness. Stowing the flask, the stranger leans back into the dim light of the gas lamps. I can finally see his features in full. Self-reflection. He wears a brass-buttoned traveling waistcoat. Complete, the waistcoat is like a vest, okay? Complete with a scarlet hood and a mask of ornate gold panels. It glitters in the gaslight, delicately crafted. So he sounds rich. Wit, finery, like I've never seen it. In case you don't know what the word finery means, it defines it for you. Clothing, especially when well made. Okay. Actually, finery is anything that is well made, my understanding. Masked stranger, on your feet now, you sorry sight. Self-discipline. It's dizzy from the head rush. It's hard to keep my balance. So we have two choices. Who are you and what do you want with me? Or I need a moment to get my bearings. Let's just cut to the chase. Number one. I think we can use, we can use the enter key to just go forward. A friend in need of your services. Friend, but a man of his station, so deep in the docklands, spells trouble. Okay, I think we all understand the concept of station, don't we? I may be mistaken. One's social rank or position. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. Okay, so now we're going to say I need a moment to get my bearings. Fair enough, but I'll be watching. The stranger pulls back his waistcoat, showing off a gilded flintlock pistol. If you don't know what that is, look it up, for fuck's sake. This is hard for me to believe that people could go through history classes in school and not know, some basic things, seriously. Animal instinct. So over the years, many a minge bag have come to collect. So these are the sort of phrases that they're using that you might not be with which you might be unacquainted. A despicable person, a barmy, so unstable or mentally unwell, contemptible person. They're derogatory terms. So over the years, many a minge bag have come to collect. This barmy naff is no different. Task started, the masked stranger. Okay, so many outstanding debts and foregone second chances. Is it all catching up to me? So we have two choices. We have a wary or worse response. No matter, let it be tonight then. Or he can try like all the others, but none have yet succeeded. Let's to number 2. I'm not a defeatist myself. So just a second, we can open our journal, by the way, and see what tasks we have outstanding. So we gained 5 hope, by the way, and you can gain and lose hope, and that will have an effect on your rolls that you make. Okay, old crone, that's as may be, but if you keep going on this way. If you keep going on this way, it's only a matter of time. I was thinking keep going on this path, Try looking for a way out, perhaps through the padlocked door over there. Now, so we have a task that we just started with the old crone. That's what that's about. Hold fast to your sanity. The chatter of my mind is enough by itself, and now there's a crone chiming in. What is she doing here, and how did she get in my head? Okay, so the masked stranger is waiting for us. Now, here's the thing. I didn't try to escape last time. I just went with the masked stranger. Call me sentimental. So if you push the tab button, you can see the things with which you can interact. Let's get the cane sword. An evening cane concealing a steel blade in a cherrywood sheath. Below the brass-figured head is a band of crushed velvet. Who doesn't know what crushed velvet is? Battle-scarred with a well-worn handle. Okay. And suitable in aristocratic circles. So we will definitely take the cane. All right? We know from our gaming experience, take anything that's not nailed down. Deaf. So let me pull my microphone down just a wee bit. I'm shorter than I think I am. Okay, so now we have this cane sword. I've not found a way to actually equip things, so presumably they are at the ready for us. I should really keep better track of my belongings, even on a gin bender. Woo-tee. So let's take a look at the newspapers. The Illustrated London News, this week's edition. A fleet-footed journalist takes to the East End, underground and undercover, the hard-boiled scoop on the courtesan killer Who's really behind the murders, and what is Scotland Yard still hiding from the public? Read on for the gory details. This story will boil your blood. Same shit we have nowadays. Okay, the more things change, the more they stay the same, seriously. Okay, so let's ponder the news for a moment. Your inner voices are at odds. When you choose one voice over the other, this changes the balance of your humors. Now, if you have no historical training, the medical knowledge of the day that was accepted at least was that your humors could be out of balance. Okay. So that's what they're talking about here. Over time, these voices will become stronger. So whichever voices we give into are going to become stronger. Makes sense. And that will shift our personality, is what it will actually do. Okay, +1 to our black bile. Hazards of the job. And we're out of the time when bleeding was a huge thing, actually. So but it's still interesting for them to bring the humors into it. Hazards of the job, I suppose. Okay, but it's a shame. No one deserves to die like that. So we have two choices. Our animalistic instinct? Maybe not, but they knew the risks. The East End is an unforgiving place. Or our self-discipline, that's true, and I've kept their company before. It could have been an acquaintance of mine. Let's pick number 2. We gave into our phlegm. That's true, and I've kept their company before, blah, blah, blah. We already read that. The wit says Ariana. Ooh. So do we want to give into our wit and say it's entirely possible, or give into our spryness and say, I'd surely hope not. But it's been a while. I should check on her. I think number 2 seems like the... Okay, so we gain 1 to our blood, which is almost surely our aggression. Okay. Dollies being hunted, it is rather curious. Okay, for those who don't know what dollies are dolly mops, which are prostitutes, women of the street walkers. We have many words for the oldest profession in the world, because when you have nothing left, all you have left is your body to sell. So, the masked stranger. Okay, we have that. Oh, no. I could try to escape through the sewers below the warehouse nearby. So that's the choice that we're eventually going to end up making. Let's investigate the murders. Shits and grins, right? I'm no police special, but I'll see what I can do. Now, the police force was fairly new at this point in history, by the way. They were Pinkerton. I always think of Pinkerton, you know. They were just men who were hired as sort of a security force for the city. That's how the police started out. For those of you who might not know that. This is not my area of specialty, by the way. I have learned a lot about it. I can recommend to you 2 series of books written by the same woman. Her name is Anne Perry. Her English can sometimes be a little bit challenging. By and large, it's really good. She treats this period in history excellently. Her Thomas and Charlotte Pitt series I like less, because some of the topics are really brutal. And y'all know, I mean, I'm not like a really sensitive person. Oh, and I see that my face is covering our list over here, so let me move myself to the other side. I'm not a really overly sensitive person, so if I'm telling you that there are brutal themes in there and you're sensitive, you better think twice about, exploring that one. But then she has one called the Monk series, about a guy who wakes up in the hospital. It's set around the middle of the 1800s. I think it starts in 1850. He wakes up in the hospital and has no idea who he is. Okay. It's a really, I love the character. The character itself is great, I think, and I enjoy the book. The series of books, I highly recommend it if you want to learn more about Victorian London specifically. By the way, the courtesan killer, murders on the loose, and anyone could be a suspect. I should keep my ears to the ground. Okay, which is just a phrase that means you're listening for information, might be pertinent. Areas of interest. Explore the world around you to discover helpful items. I guess they thought I'd go there first. On your journey, East London hides many secrets. Press and hold the highlight hotspots button, which is the tab by default unless you change it, to highlight areas of interest. Okay, liquor bottles. Genever Rutgut, I've heard, or Rotgut. I'm so dyslexic. And dry gin bottles are strewn about, broken and empty. Okay, wager those are remnants of a day drowned in sorrow. Feels like ages ago. I'm putting my earbuds in a little bit more, seating them better. Our choices are what's left of my stash, or the animal instinct is what I meant with the blood. Looks to me like a day well spent, or sooner or later I'll have to untether myself from alcohol's allure. I'm going to pick number 3. I have myself gone on alcoholic binges. I've gone through some very hard times in my life where I have been in danger of becoming an alcoholic, but I'm not, because I like my self-control. So let's see just how many of these bottles I emptied. Wit, look through the bottles. Self-discipline, think I've had enough liquor for now. Just shits and grins. I'm going to pick number 1. I didn't do that before. Okay, now they're going to tell us about the tarot cards. Minor Tarot, the Minor Arcana. To make a skill check, you will draw a card from one of the 4 Minor Arcana decks. Each deck contains cards numbered from 1, the Ace, to 14, the King. They also contain the World, which is the Major Arcana, by the way, always succeed a skill check, and the Fool, which is also the Major Arcana, by the way, which will always fail, and then reshuffle the deck. Now, just for your information, okay, the Swords is air, the Wands are fire, the Cups are water, and the Coins are earth. They correspond to those 4 elements, which correspond roughly then to our astrological signs. Okay, I personally am born 4 hours before a Virgo changes to a Libra. So I have a rising sign of Aries, which means I am desperately missing the social aspect of the water. All of this is very interesting, I think. Whether you believe it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It's interesting. So success. Yay. Aha! Saving the best for last. The bottle of Old Tom. Okay, so we might be able to use that bottle for something eventually. We don't know. What's the rule of thumb in gaming? Pick up everything that's not nailed down. Hold it. We can... A herring basket? I did not see that last time. Ooh. You cannot turn the screen, by the way. There's no way to fling the screen around. Herring basket, a slatted wooden basket made from hazel cuttings. Hazelwood. Willow branches woven around the bottom for support. Why am I up here looking at a basket? Surely I have more important matters to attend to. Animal instinct. I can smell the rotting fish from here. Several days past its prime. Lean in. Let's have a look. Okay, white strips of flesh swimming in a pool of decomposition. Kippered herring. Okay, it's a small oily fish that is salted or pickled, then cold smoked over smoldering wood chips. Okay, let's open it. Oh, the 8 of Cups. Nice. It's unlikely we will succeed here. The acrid smell brings tears to my eyes, but somehow my stomach does not empty itself. So let's pick number 1 again. Ooh, we got the World. It always succeeds. It's the 100 of Cups. Okay. So we've added to our phlegm considerably here. In for a penny, in for a pound. Tossing the congealed skin onto the street, I land on something round and flat with milled edges, and it's not just the one, as opposed to smooth edges. Okay, so it's probably cogs. A couple of coins and some spoiled herring. So, oh, we got coins this time. Okay. You can collect cogs and you can sell the cogs, by the way, to people to get coin. I should probably bathe at the earliest opportunity. We can do that in the bathhouse, actually. Which would require going with the stranger. Let's go through the sewer this time, though. I didn't do that. And let's see what happens. Schauen wir mal. But before we do that, let's look for the cogs. And yes, you do hear a variety of German and English. And sometimes you might even hear Spanish or Czech come out of my mouth. One never knows. I'm a really strange person. So there's the gear and cogs. We'll collect those. Mechanical odds and ends shimmering in the gaslight. This is a steampunk thing here. Worth a little tin if you deal them to an engine man. Somebody who knows about gears and engines, right? So let's take them. Might prove useful. Probably not going to hurt. Do we need to go into the Palladium? See, it's a nightclub. Last night's hard to recall. Bodily aches suggest they threw me out around closing time. So they're not open at the moment. So this is some sort of containment fence. Military grade, reinforced with barbed wire. The sign reads, Werewolf Containment Zone, in luminescent paint. Electric bolts arc between the fence posts. The smoky ozone scent flooding your nostrils. Yes, this game has werewolves in it. The moon won't be full for another 2 nights. It might be safer inside instead of at the whim of this stranger in his brocade waistcoat. So we can break through this containment unit. I vote for going into the sewers. So no harm in a look or bugger this ruddy fence. It's just a pile of kindling and wire. I'll take a running start and charge straight through it. That would be a pretty stupid thing to do, or I don't have time for this now. Let's take a look. I'm such a curious person. 9 of Wands. Nice. Okay, so silk-wrapped cables running into a switch box. That must be the power source. I'm no engineer, but I might be able to power down the fence from that switch box over to my left. Excellent. Oh, and now we have a switch box. A battered metal switch box secured by a chain and padlock. Well, let's crack this padlock then. I don't want to damage my cane sword. Screw that. Ah, we failed. Oh, +1 blood though. Spryness. Which spryness? It's stuck in the mechanism. So you'll need a tool to remove it, or else you could bash it in, but it's pretty well jammed. Nah, let's just leave it for now. I really don't feel like oh, by the way, the space key works too. I don't feel like sacrificing my cane sword. The poster's not missing. It says missing poster. It's a poster of someone who's missing. Julie and Bertram O'Brien, orphans missing from Sacred Heart Orphanage. A small reward furnished upon any information leading to their safe return. Please have a heart for our poor children. The Sister of the Sacred Heart, 22 Cherry Wine Lane, East End, London, alms accepted. I remember this place. So we'd rather not think about it, and what's it got to do with me now? Number 2, yellow bile. And what's it got to do with me now? Yes. When a tragedy strikes, the ripples are far-reaching. Words of wisdom. A brother and sister gone missing from where I was brought up. So now we need to wonder, are we wondering if it's all connected? Or being an orphan myself, I should be the one to investigate. Let's ask ourselves if it's all connected. There are unsettled spirits in the Docklands, and I suspect I play a part in their pageantry. Hopefully not as some marionette, we all know what a marionette doll is, with strings to pull for their entertainment. I think we're all still tortured with Pinocchio as children, aren't we? Then I should leave no cobble unturned. Okay, so we'll start the search for the missing orphans as well. Something's not right here, and orphans in the Docklands need all the help they can get. So see, our characters are not unfeeling, by the way. And you will find that I'm really weird about, people think I'm one way, and I'm actually a very complex person. So 3 rootless souls taking their ease in the heat of a steam vent. One of the few free comforts to be had in old London town. This one is Poe Pickett. Drifts around the city so much it's hard to know not to know him. Might not remember me, though. Boulder Dam Dash. That landlord. Bloody meter refuses to fix the heat in my abode. Vim mutton shunters cast me out on the bricks like flicking an ant off the sleeve. Okay. The unfortunate companions huddle for warmth, their tattered garments splashed with ale stains. These men are dusty, perpetually so. Not that I miss the old quarters, no. With the endless boiler, double troubles, 'twas not much warmer in there than out here. Okay, he looks at me askance. Wager his mood still needs thawing. Oi, horns! If you're not handing out hot meals, bugger off. Talking takes thinking, and I ain't got a lot of that to spare, case you didn't notice. Okay, well, screw you too, buddy. And I'm a firm believer in... We could bugger off in the underground station, perhaps. So we're going to gather the gears. A few bobs is also so quid coin. There's the masked stranger. The wagon is blocking the way. Okay, some wayward cartwright abandoned their wagon here. Beyond it, tenements and a dead end. He's got me hemmed in. Let's take a look at the underground station here. Shits and grins, baby, shits and grins. It's the witching hour, so of course the trains aren't running. No escape from the stranger this way. Let's go back to the sewer. As I've said, I've not tried that. What else do we've been accruing cogs. We've got ourselves some spoiled herring. Who knows when that might come in handy. We've got several. We now have several. This is interesting what the symbol is. Untracked tasks. So apparently we're tracking this one, whereas in point of fact... Okay. In point of fact, let's track this one actually instead. Does that track that? Oh, I guess, okay, I guess there's only room for 4 on here. And that's why that one is untracked. So let's go back and see if there is an escape through the sewers. Shits and grins, baby, shits and grins, right? We're not going to save scum. Padlocked door, a heavy door that's blocking my escape from the stranger. There's an oxidized chain and a padlock over the hasp. Who doesn't know what hasp is? Hinge metal plate that fastens the door, fitted with a metal loop for the padlock. Okay, so should be a soft job so long as this lock isn't rusted through. Let's try to break the damn thing. Not a good chance. Oops, the Ace of Swords. Bugger me. Temperament is the representation of your character's mental state, progressing from one desperate, wary, contempt, optimistic to hopeful. Your choices can change your character's temperament. That's what I was saying earlier about the hope. Your choices can change your character's temperament. Certain dialogue choices are only available based on your temperament score. Oh, done myself a mischief. That means I've hurt myself. Skinned my knuckles is all, but I don't imagine that lock can ever be used again either. I wonder where this passage goes. Away from the stranger is good enough for me. O.T. Let's go see where it goes. Does that say werewolf? The passage is lined with stone walls, damp from the evening fog, and the underground steam boiler used to heat the tenements above. Barrels line the walls, and seem to occupy every available space in this underground storeroom. Cane rats scurry and squeak in the corners, kneading at their nests. The air is stagnant, full of dust and mold. A ways off, there is a sound of a pump house at work, no doubt channeling sewage into the Time. I want to say that wrong. We always think Thames, but it's Time. There's a dim light ahead. Perhaps you can find help, or at least a way out of the stranger's grasp. Stranger is actually not a bad person. Old crone, on your guard now. No telling what's down there. Our only choices. I've seen the worst of the underground in my days. If trouble comes, I've got my blade and a silver tongue. Okay. A sleeping thug. And a wooden coffer. A 30-something cove, which is a man, writhing on the cobbles, must have had his fill. If he was on guard, easy now to get by him. Or bash his head in. Might be safer that way. So we can bash his head in, but he's only chickered beyond reason. Besides, maybe I know him. Let's pick number 2. I really just want to bash his head in. Oh, okay. So, can't remember his face, but that's one thundering night terror he's having. Anything in his pockets? I don't think I'd want my pockets picked while I'm on a bender. I'm just too nice today. I'm too nice today. No. Oh, thievery doesn't suit me anymore then, and there's bound to be something else nearby, free for the taking. I don't feel comfortable picking the man's pocket while he's having a nightmare. That's is cuss. So red cedar panel and cornered with iron, a sturdy but time-worn container. Need to break into everything. What am I, a minotaur or a magpie? Yeah, a magpie usually collects shiny things, so that one was sort of obvious. So our choices are break into the coffer, rooting in rubbish with hopes for a little 10, just like my scavenging days. Let's break in. I don't need to be like perpetually nice. Yellow bile. Okay, bully, that felt right. It's been too long since I broke something. And there's only that gin bibber, a drinker of gin, other liquor to the point of excess, who might have heard the noise, but he's too blotto, excessively drunk to pay us any mind. And what great treasure is this? Trousers with a bib sewn across and a pulley zipper fastening. Say what? The head torch runs on a copper coal battery. There's boots and breeches, and the waistcoat has enough pockets to carry a dining set. To be sure, it's a sandhog uniform. What's a sandhog? I don't know that one. A construction worker in the underground tunnels. Try it on. So what if I tear the seams? It's not like someone's missing the pile of rags. Okay, the shoulder flaps will have to hang loose, my chest being too wide to snap the buttons down the placket. Do we want to force it? What do we want to do, folks? Do we want to force it? Well, I guess we'll force it. Failure. You suck. The torso belt breaks from their loops and shred fabric. No way of wearing this now. Oh, we got the torn uniform. Dolores might be able to fix it, but that means a trip to the Red Lantern Lane. Okay, so this could be a sign to lay off the swill for a while. So our choices are, maybe so, the source of many troubles, or not necessarily, I'm fit as a fiddle. I think we need to lay off as well. Okay, but if I quit outright, I'll keel over. Better start with one less drink a day. Ugh. Sounds like alcoholic reasoning. Oh, okay, we'll just accept that. Whatever. Don't be so sure. Our animalistic side. The naysayers will gab as they please, but I'm ready to change. Okay. Enough maundering. Let's get on with it. I agree. Good gad. How long can you draw out one scene, folks? A manhole cover. Oh, let's grab the gears and cogs first, though. As I've said, we can sell them to someone later and get a little copper. So here's our shillings and pounds, so quid. There's our gear and copper. Got quite a few things we're storing up here. Oh, rope, that might be useful. A length of braided horsehair, stale and hardly saleable. It's brittle, but with a proper tie, it'll work. Let's do that. We'll just take it with us or take down. Rule of gaming number 1 is take everything that's not nailed down. A battered crate moldering in sewer grime. Okay, animalistic instinct is to bash it open. The smell is too dreadful. No, let's bash it open. Shits and grins, baby. Okay, 12 of swords. A knight of swords here. It caves in with a crack and a cloud of fetid dust. Blech. Blech. Don't cough, somebody will come and beat the bushes. Success. I successfully went beating back the convulsion. I managed to keep breathing. Any more looting like this and I'll need a face mask. You could use that garment to cover your face. If I meet another Minotaur, they might have a spare. Good lot of us live in the underground. Okay, enough rumination. Let's see what's in the crate. So our choices are, can hardly guess what I'm reaching for, but here it goes. Or second thought, I'd rather come back to it. No, let's just grab it now. Nothing in there but a cold piece of metal. Let's take it. It's a pry bar. Excellent. Who knows what we can do with a pry bar and a rope. So, now let's investigate the man cover. The manhole cover. Becomes man cover. That sounds wrong. A disc of wrought iron loosened by a crack. I've got a tool to open this. Woohoo! We got the pry bar, don't we? It's a heavy bugger, even with this tool. So lift it without the tool. This rope should do. How about the pry bar? Let's use the pry bar. Okay. So number 3, let's use the pry bar. Yes, the world again. We're doing really well getting that world card, aren't we? Bully, that steel bar was the ticket. Just needed a little leverage. There's a latched compartment below the manhole cover, but it's padlocked too tight to break. That's a capital lock. I'll need a key. Keep looking. We need to come back later. Or we have to come back later regardless. Watch it. There's somebody on the stairs. With that head torch, he could be on patrol. I don't suppose he takes kindly to trespassers. So he's coming double quick. Where can I hide? Or I don't need to hide from anyone. Let's go ahead and hide. It's my instinct. Okay, so there's a pool of shadow at the back of this hallway. We don't get this one. No. Our only choice is fight him if we have to. Hetty! His face is filthy, mud-streaked, and unshaven, and his head torch is near as bright as daylight down here. He smells worse than the sewer walls. Must be a bilgeman. It's a sewer worker below the status of an engineer. The bilgeman. Oi! What's a bovine doing down this way? You better scram before I call the hounds. You're trespassing. Hey, the Dock Hounds, the most powerful criminal gang in the East End. Let's tell the truth. If it scares him, why the hell not? I'm running from a bounty hunter, a morally unpleasant feller, if you catch my meaning. Fair life loss. A common excuse. For my sake, I wish it were otherwise. It would explain your disposition and tattered waistcoat. What's the idea of having such finery only to let it run to rags? String of bad luck is all. Okay, I've been there. Anyway, I'm too busy to riddle with queer folk. We know what the word queer is. Queer literally means strange or unique. It really did. This was the meaning of the word queer. Okay, that means when we looked at somebody and we said, he's a bit queer, it just meant he was strange. That's all it meant. So, even if they're trespassing. Okay, appreciate it, and I promise not to fiddle with the pipes. That'd be right and fly. Now, I better get back to work. There's a stream trunk over here that someone has just left lying about. A brass-banded traveling trunk with sturdy corners, fit for a long voyage. It's out of place down here. There's tin inside, I'm sure of it. But the padlock has a carbon steel shackle and pin tumblers, triple reinforced. Let's try to pick the lock. Oh. Oh. Okay, let's use the pry bar. That looks like our best chance. Okay, what's this? A bottle of gin. I've yet to try. The fates have been kind to me once more. So Jeremiah gin has been added to our inventory, and we've gained some bile. Oh, especially kind, for they also provided me with lots of capital. Okay, lots is two quid. I mean, come on, people. So we do have a task, by the way, to collect gin. The gin collector. Ooh, tea. And a few cigarettes to round out the package. Bully. It's not every day you get this stuff for free. We got 4 cigarettes added to our inventory. That may come in handy paying Lord knows who. Furnace automaton, sorry. Speak up. Who disrupts the air? I'm a famous magician, but in the underground, you must have heard of me. I love magic. Whenever I bend the heat to a proper boil, sometimes I fancy myself a firemancer. My name's Hera. Fancies herself female as well. The letters Hera are blazoned on its chest plate. Ask about the fire. Keeping the fire stoked, I see. Do you enjoy it? I delight in my work. I was made for it, and this boiler provides heat for the Sherlock tenements upstairs. The Sherlock, not Sherlock as in Sherlock Holmes either. Although it says the Sherlock Holmes, so I think they were doing a play on words. Ask about, it says, the sweated laborers resting toasty from my efforts. It's a warm, fuzzy, static feeling. It's a fuzzy, warm, static feeling. I'm so dyslexic. Ask about the acronyms. HERA, what does it stand for? Heat Energy Regulation Automaton. The latest iteration. Hera, wife of Zeus, in any case, it suits you. Okay. So ask about the barrels. He's thrilled to hear it. Okay. What about these barrels? What are they filled with? Oh, well, they're full of gin. The hounds are distilling it with the heat from my boiler, and somehow the Sherlock tenements upstairs haven't caught on. Those people must be freezing. It's only autumn now, but it feels like midwinter. I'd rather have the extra gin. Brings down the price, and we can always deal with a little cold. Okay, a lot of my ilk came up from those tenements. I couldn't face the dockhounds alone. It's hard enough keeping my own head above the water. They won't be easily swayed. Bootlegging is a regular tin press to make a lot of money through it. A lucrative enterprise. So, press it for information. What else do you know about these barrels? The steam gets siphoned and the barrels come and go. Some are fresh and some have stood for several months, ready for a swiller. The machine is keeping track. Automatic circuits indeed. When the flame is healthy, I turn my attention to the walls, and before I know it, I'm whirling away. It's a queer feeling. If the hounds are stealing steam, then it's good reason to steal some of their bootleg for myself. It's a nice justification. I'm not fit for a virtue circuit, but if you've convinced yourself you're clear of any moral infidelity, that's a machine talking to me. I've kind of lost the thread throughout this conversation. It seems disjointed somehow. Okay, where would I find a barrel that's aged a few months? Okay, let's just pick that one behind the furnace. There's something of a staging area. That's where the barrels get carried out. Have a look for yourself. But I must get back to work. As I've said, I can't turn the screen. He said behind the barrel, didn't he? I guess the steamer trunk was the staging area. Bummer, dude. Okay, so all we can do now is go to the sewers. All right. I could have looked at the furnace, I suppose. Edging through the grate, you are greeted by the droning sound of rushing water and a smell that's near unbearable. This is very different than the last time I played through. Last time I went with the stranger. He actually wants a favor of you, and then he won't turn you in for the bounty money. Droning sound of rushing water and a smell that's near unbearable, hanging in the air so thick you can almost taste it. Hooves are clumsy in the dark as you stumble along the passageway, the sound of water flow and machinery echoing off the bricks from all directions, a meshing of gears that's familiar but unsettling. Following the light, you come into a torchlit chamber, but it seems you're not alone. Notes of troubled voices peak over the noise, an air of indignance and irritation, but also of fear and desperation. Something's not right here. You've stumbled on an argument, no doubt, but worse than that is a deep foreboding. Something else shares these sewers, a deep evil crawling through the bowels of London. OT. Really does sound very foreboding, doesn't it? And I really don't think we have. Do we have another choice? Oh, we do. Just that patrolman over there? We get caught by a copper? That's what we called them in New York City, at least. I mean, I'm not from New York City, but in America, in New York City, they were called coppers, but they're called bobbies in Britain. Up. Okay, he's full of piss and vinegar, but I guess I should read this. Sorry. I'm so. Okay, the patrolman who's creeping in the shadow light stage of business. A cyclops with a pick spade, standard issue for sewer work. That's what our wit tells us. The cyclops. This area is off limits. Oh, probably because of I guess he's got a light on his head, layman. Besides, you're not dressed for it. Animal instinct tells us he's full of piss and vinegar, but also full of poppycock. Rubbish, right? I'll wager his authority is a claim and nothing more. Self-discipline. Already have the stranger to worry about, and am I up to challenging this lanky bloke as well? Well, we don't have any choice, so we can apologize and ask for the way out. Pardon me, I'm just looking for the way out, sir. Captain, of the pump house, that is. Pardon me, Captain. As I said, I'm just looking for the way out. Didn't mean to trespass. Sorry, mate. Nowhere to go but the way you came. Dash it all. But if he knows the lay of the land, then it might be well worth a few more questions. Let's ask him about the argument then. Shits and grins. Black bile? Okay, understood, Captain. How about the scuffle down below? Well, the tall fellow holds weight with the hounds. I shouldn't like to interfere. Okay, let's keep asking for the way out then. Surely there's another way out, perhaps toward the pump house. Off limits. Besides, she's locked down for maintenance. If I were you, I'd head up street side before the morning doves. Okay. The pump house captain breathes a sigh of relief, eager to get back to his patrol. Okay, let's take these. Really not keen on getting into the argument. You can hear I'm struggling with my sinuses today. They're still arguing, but move any further and they'll notice me. There's a door just beyond where they're standing. That'd be one way to escape this ruddy mess. If I turn back, I might find a place to eavesdrop. I should check that ledge that's cropping out above them. Let's look around first. There was a bunch of stuff over here and an engineer as well. Through the hall is a course of machinery. The torpid crank of some heavy clockwork, the chittering of a telegraph, and the ever-present rumble of steam in the walls. The archway is fit with a blast door that's been left open. The control room for the pump house, no doubt. See if we can't get ourselves into trouble. A wooden handle attached to a cylindrical crank. Does some heavy lifting? This? What? Shits and grins, baby. I wonder what it does. This is so me. No go. It's catching on some unseen sprocket. Let's try to force it. Okay. With a stripping of unseen threads, the handle snaps into the sprocket. It hangs there in flimsy dysfunction. Oops, I think we broke it. The engineer is distracted, didn't even hear the noise. Any road. This will need repairing. Any road is like anywho, anyhow. Whatever. Okay, so a wooden locker with steel dowels and boats embossed with the seal of the senior service. Her Majesty's Naval Service, okay? So the engineer won't mind, and I'll straighten him out if he does. And not in plain sight, surely it belongs to the engineer. Okay, I raise the lid on a set of squeaky hinges. It's full of bottles, free for the taking. Okay, we are unlikely to be able to do this, but we're going to try anyhow. And we succeeded. We've got McGrady's Gin added to our collection of +5 hope. Blind as a beetle, that engineer. Must have got lucky. I wouldn't chance it again. I agree. Wow. So, what's up with the control panel? The needles quiver from the pressurized steam in the brass pipes. Tosher, eh? Go and dig through the bilge, then? These controls are worth more than your life. Probably true. He has a grizzled face and a world-weary slump to his shoulders, yet there's a spark in his eye. Might be a good fellow to know. So let's go know him. Machinery doesn't sleep, Tosher. Let me do my duties in peace. I'd better make a decent impression out of the gate, or he mightn't spare me any time. Let's apologize for barging in. Sorry to barge in like this. As you should be. There's no place for surprises. Out with it. Now that I have his attention, let's see if I can get, can earn his trust. Let's ask about the barrels then. Oh, I thought we were going to fail that one. I caught more than a few whiffs of liquor on my way down. What is it, bootlegging in the barrels? That's an idea. See now. What's your name? I smell an opening and some wassailing. Drinks lots of alcohol and enjoys oneself with others. Okay. Atticus Daly, pleased to meet you. And I'm John Teller. Say, I've got it figured. Minotaurs have keen noses. So you must have sniffed out the liquor in my locker. Same as what's in the barrels. Fetch us a few bottles, then I'll finish my readings and we'll have a drink. Okay, that raised my hope. Sounds like we're plunging into a pool of fire. Okay, so we'll stream for about another half an hour this game. Oh yeah, I got my cigarettes, don't I? I don't have any booze to spare at the moment, really. And a gin collector, we're doing pretty well. I'm not sure we've really gotten any farther with anything else, but, you know, hey. So he said, she said, you're back. Where's the gin? I'd love to have a drink, but I'm trying to curb my vices. If you don't want to drink with me on principle, of course I understand. Pity. A few drinks might have loosened his tongue. Now, whatever secrets he had will stay bottled. Oh, fuck me. Seriously? So let's go back then and see if we can acquire some gin. It almost looks like we could still persuade him. Let's go up here. No, not down there. Where? Wooden barrel. A barrel perches on the ledge while the argument rages. I can hide up here and watch the dispute. Okay, let's eavesdrop. Blech. You'll pad me pockets until I say die, says the skinny bloke. Animal instinct. He's hounding this poor girl for capital. Only a ladsman would stoop so low. That's somebody who trains children to be thieves. And if so, then she must be a cut purse. Which is literally from the bags they had that were called purses, that you would cut them open on the bottom. I'm sick of stealing, and I'm sore of begging all the more. It's shameless. Doesn't seem like a fair fight, and she might come to harm if I don't step in. Shits and grins. Let's go down and break it up. We've been pretty nice up till now. I'm too far away to be of service from up here. Better head downstairs. I agree. But it's good to know that it's not one of the dock hounds. I feel better about intervening. Okay, I'll have to face him sooner or later. He looks ready for a fight. Okay, let's not flash the still if we don't have to. I'll wait for the right moment. No need to flash still if I don't have to. How about an inside tip? You know, I'm in well with the oddsmen. Referees for gambling events. Keep your crooked tips. You were supposed to shelter us, pay us, and protect us. But I wager there's a future for me beyond London. The only way you leave London is in bits and pieces floating down the Thames. She flashes her eyes at me, some kind of signal. I can try for a clean cut between the shoulder blades, but what if he's quicker on his feet than he looks? Let's try to settle it with the words in. He's an evil trouble, but he doesn't have to die. Oi, you there! Atticus Daly? What the blazes are you doing here? This bloody biter knows my face. Have we met? Can't be sure. Excellent. It's always good when we pass, I guess. This character has gained the retrospective trait and will now be able to select dialogue options that require that trait. So we have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, baby. So the ways in which the mechanisms of fate turn can be perplexing, but to the keen eye, they may offer the means to shape the world. I feel good about our choices so far. He's that bloody crook what used to give out tips on the pit fights. He's crossed me in the past and deserves to meet his end. Okay, here. I like this one. Lay off the girl, otherwise I'll shatter your kneecaps and fix you for a bath chair. Shit. Oh, yes! We succeeded. We only had 50% chance. Okay. Lay off the girl, otherwise I'll shatter your kneecaps and fix you for a bath chair. Rolling chaise. So, roll stool. Roll stool. A wheelchair. Well, as it happens, I have business to attend to. Now scuttle off before we take turns breaking one rib at a time. You haven't seen the last of me, gay mine, a homeless girl who roams the streets, okay? As for you, Daly, I won't be forgetting this. You've no idea what a burden he was, so save the cut purse. We have successfully completed that. I know his type, stirring up trouble with nothing but a head full of steam to back it. There is, by the way, when you go to the next chapter, you will start to play a different character. You will not be still playing this character. I got shifted off onto a high-class courtesan, was what she was. So it's kind of interesting. The game is. You're not always playing the same character. I know his type. Okay, we did that one. Thanks for the assistance. My name is Annika Johansson. So we gained +5 hope. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I'm Atticus Daly. Okay, that lout did show us how to make a living, but there was never any future for us. No, because what would happen is the kids would get too big to be as agile, and then they were no good anymore. Let's look at the cards we picked real quick. You have unlocked a major Arcana card. There are 20 from the Major Arcana to unlock. Each Major Arcana card is unlockable only by a specific player character. Cards in the Major Arcana unlock specific personality traits. Once unlocked, you will be able to select dialogue options that require that trait. You can see which major tarot cards have been found in the tarot panel, which is this one. So far, we have the Hermit and we have the Wheel of Fortune. We picked the Hermit in the beginning, if you recall correctly. Okay, so, so I think I'm thinking of joining a circus that travels around Europe. So let's ask her what her talent is then. Everyone's got their own talents. Throwing knives. Ooh, excellent. Where the wheel is spun and a living target is skillfully avoided. I practiced with Bertram till he disappeared. Now I don't know whether to look for him or leave the city. Let's just shits and grins. Let's pick that one. It's annoying me. I loved the circus when I was young. Snuck through the back fence where the animals were kept. Well, I'm not sure if I love it, but it seems like a way out. Sadness in her voice, like a heavy rain at sea, damp and in the bones. What is it you still need my help with? That seems like a pertinent question. Straight to the point. Okay. It's about Bertram. If he's alive, I'd like to say goodbye before I leave with the circus. So Bertram, a close friend. That's one of the orphans who went missing, though, in point of fact. My best in the city. If he's alive, I'd like to say goodbye before I leave the circus. Okay, she said that already. Bleh. Okay, if you don't get to the bottom of it, you might regret it forever. Advice I should have taken myself. That's That's right. There was a woman once. Okay, we get more black bile. Every once in a while, I lose the thread of the conversation. That's right. There was a woman once. Okay, when I was living in Galway, Ireland. No, animal instinct. No, it's too painful. Besides, the girl is starting to stare. Wah! Okay, we lost 5 hope again. Huh. Well, just keep swinging back and forth. Animal instinct has increased to level 13. Whoa. Sir, you were drifting off there. Only momentary lapse, I assure you. Okay. Is there any chance you'd help me find Bertie? He went missing along with his sister Julie. Oh, bloody hell, why not? Okay, thank you. Mr. Daly, it isn't much, but take these cogs for your troubles. I'll see what I can find for myself, and then I'll meet you, and we can share information like police specials. Okay. Bully, I'd make a fine detective. Yes, we would. So, Bertram and I were living down here, but now the water's too high to get to our hidey hole. Oh, I hope he's not drowned in that thing. That would be really depressing. With so many of us going missing, I'd better move on anyway. Okay, what about this hidey hole? We had a little safe house behind the retraining wall or restraining wall. But now with the pump house being serviced, the water's too high to get there. Okay, let's give her our card so she can keep in touch. And everyone used to have a visiting card. When I was young, I had visiting cards too. All my children had visiting cards when they were quite small to make play dates and stuff with their friends. It's something my maternal grandmother sort of, I don't want to say made a requirement, but so take my visiting card in case you need to get in touch with me. I'm not often home, but you can leave a message with Anne Selina in the shop below my quarters. Okay. Of course, Mr. Daly, together I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of this. Woohoo. Okay. Pardon me, I'm really having problems with my sinuses today. She gave us more cogs. Wow. I think we get like 1p. 1p, I said. I think we get 1 pound for, not a pence, but a pound for each cog, if I'm not mistaken, if we can find someone to whom we can sell it. So what else do we have here? Oh, no. The locked door. Let's go take a look at the flask. Somebody hid a bottle back here. Looks like a nostrum, purportedly effective medicine available without prescription. Smells rather dangerous, at least to the inexperienced. Might be useful, one never knows. Oh, it's laudanum. Okay. I didn't recognize the other word. Laudanum I recognize. Okay. That was basically... It was to help you sleep. It was to help calm your nerves, that sort of thing. A monstrous door of high carbon steel. No way through it without a key or a high explosive. So, Belland, if only if it was opened. Must lead to an even murkier chamber. Dreary and dangerous, just my cup of tea. Treacherous, no doubt, but also full of intrigue. Let's pick that one. I think we have enough the animal instinct going on here. Treacherous, no doubt, but also full of intrigue. Okay. So maybe I'm lucky it's locked. No escape from the stranger this way. You'll need a key for the door. Let's go back and see... We can't seem to talk to the engineer, can we? And we weren't able to open the wooden barrel either. And we already got the booze from the other place. That's why I thought it would give us a choice to offer the engineer some. We had not even explored the blocked passage. We immediately went over to... This is kind of an interesting game, but like I said, when we go into the next chapter, we'll be playing someone different. It is a role-playing game in that the choices you make do have consequences for your character, for your character's development. So here's our character. We're now at, our animal instinct is 13, our wit is 18, our self-discipline is 16, our sprightness is 11. Our temperance is weary. We're worn down by life. I think that's understandable. This particular character's thing is to collect booze. A welter of bricks and rotting planks blocking the way through. No sense dulling my cane sword for this, I agree. Okay, we'll pick the second one. Got +5 hope out of that. Very good. I've run into more daunting obstacles. Just have to give this a wide berth. Okay, so now we're going to go back for a second and see if there was anything else we could do with regards to getting hold of the booze for the engineer. We can loosen his tongue. Well, I'll read this again. By the way, welcome to my stream, people who are popping in and out. I'm showing you this here game. It's kind of an interesting game. The end of your escape route came as an iron door. There's nothing for it now but to face the music and hope that the ready stranger has it in him to spare you. Clouded and soaked in again by the dust, it's hard to imagine a strategy that amounts to more than impulse. Armed as he is, you'll have to get your hands on his weapon. No mean feat, even if you were in top condition. Part of you wants to resign to your fate, to fall asleep without a care, or ever waking up. Climbing the steps and sliding through the grate, you're blasted again with the heat of the furnace. A life spent sleeping on the cobbles, adrift. You're used to being shocked by the facts of your environment. It's up to you. Give up the ghost to the stranger or convince him that you still have a reason for living. Okay, we didn't find a way out through the sewers. And we had actually already plundered the steamer trunk. That's why I was surprised we couldn't offer the booze to the engineer. Embers burning fiercely as if by the jewel bright core of every flame on earth. Hot coals banked with an unsurpassed dexterity. Errors all but eliminated. Nothing to do here but stare at the flames, so let's just leave. But it was therapeutic, so that was kind of cool that we did that. So we did already, as I've said, we've already looted the steamer trunk. That's why I was surprised we couldn't offer the engineer our booze. Oh, something new. Oh, maybe this is what we overlooked. Okay, it looks ready for shipping out. Okay, this is what we were looking for. You've already had one less drink. Okay, I'm tapping this barrel. Tap it, baby. The gin hits my belly, and the taste is delicious. Now I call that bootlegging. Okay. And there's a hazy aura I wanted, as if every object could bloom at any moment, +5 hope. Let's leave that. I thought we were going to be able to bottle some to take it to the engineer. No. What do we have here? That's the laudanum. So we are collecting gin for this character. You do, as I've said, when you go into chapter 2, you will be playing a different character, and we have a lot of tasks here that we need to accomplish. Let's go back to the stranger. The first time, I haven't played through this very far, but the first time I did, I just went with the stranger. I just want shit. Oh, well. I'm screwed. Let's just go with the stranger. Oh, we had the option to pick his pocket. We did not take it. I don't think that's fair game. Somebody's tossing and turning from a nightmare. You don't want to pick through their pocket. There was no escape in the sewers. Only more danger you've narrowly dodged. But it's nothing so ghastly as what might become of you at the hands of the stranger. You hardly ever see a handheld firearm in the Docklands. That means he's come from far away to track you down, and he won't give up easily. And what of this old crone mumbling in your mind? Will another Jen slumber put a seal on her words, or is she now more than a figment of your imagination, presumably? Is she in step with your pulse and your heartbeat? So deeply rooted, you might never escape her raspy chattering. By the break of morning, you should have some answers. But until then, you stumble on the cobbles, half woken, the hungover clawing your skull like a prisoner in bondage. Okay. So we got people popping in and out of the stream. Appreciate when you all do. You stop by, you can leave a comment. It's on the top chat again. I keep trying to keep it on the live chat. Sorry, it keeps going back to the top chat. I don't know why. Okay, so but yeah, if you wanna drop me a little line there, you are perfectly welcome to. Did we ever decide that we were not going to be able to get into the werewolf section? Werewolf section, you say? I did indeed. So we weren't planning on streaming too much more, but I'd like to get through this first portion. Okay, hi, handsome. What can I do for you? Would you like a... Here. You're such a pretty bunny. You'll see a bunny run around in the background, by the way. That's my baby. The lockpick is stuck in the hasp. I need a tool to get it out. The pry bar should do the job. Yeah, they say it's an easy skill check. Yes! Okay, I didn't know if we got the world. We're doing really good at getting that world card. Bully, that did it. Now I'll cut the power and hop the fence. That'll put some acres between me and the stranger. It's 4 meters high with voltage running through the razor coils. Bit risky. Can't be that hard to cut the current. Pull the red wire, eh? Failure. I smelt that coming. I did. I smelt that one coming on. I just put that in my mouth, you little. Okay. He's very demanding little. You didn't even eat it. Why didn't you eat it? Don't come and pick that from me. Why didn't you eat it? Yeah, that's not what I want, Mom. Come here. Come here. Come here and say hello to everyone. Say hello. Say hello. This is Aiden. Aiden says hello. Say hello. Sniff, sniff. That's very good. Very well said. Aiden is his mama's sweetheart. He's a very angry bunny, though. He's an angry bunny. Are you an angry bunny? We lost 10 hope. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Oh, I have to bring the engineer back, but we don't seem to have his booze. Down you go again. Mama loves you. Oh, Mama loves you. Oh, Mama loves you very much. She does. Oh. Poising yourself to jump. So down you go. Down you go. Back to our game. Sorry, my rabbits are, most of them are getting to be really, really old, by the way. Which is quite depressing for me. He'll be 5 next month. He's not actually a baby anymore. Okay, let's just go to the stranger. He's waiting with a cold stare and a hand on his flintlock pistol. Okay. All done mucking about down there? About time. How do you know that? The smell, most likely. You can smell it on me. You might say. He's hiding something, perhaps some mystical talent, not unlike my own. Right then, you ready, sight? Let's get going. We'll need you batting on a full wicket. Okay, shall I let him ragdoll me around East London? He could put a bullet through my heart in half a moment. Now's not the time to challenge him. Oh, yeah. I don't like my chances. It's best if I don't tempt fate and instead trust the unknown. Ugh, I don't like that idea. Dry mouth, aches in the bones, and a chill sweat. This body's in no shape for combat. Okay, I'm glad we understand each other. Come on, then. I didn't even say that out loud. No question about it, he's reading my thoughts. Okay, so let's just ask him. Where are you taking me? Oh, excellent. Okay, we had a good chance, though. We really did. Okay, so he says, somewhere you'll be more comfortable. I'd rather not suffer any more than I have to, but at some point you'll tell me what you're planning. Okay? There's no time for dawdling. Bellend, he hasn't any conscience. If it seems like London left you behind, humor me for the evening. Otherwise, I'll deliver the bounty on your head, and I won't have wasted any time. I guess we better go with him. Your headache rages with a fierce second wind, and every step is a hammer and nail in your psyche. The stranger's reckless pace only makes matters worse. His arm, like a vice grip, dragging you down a maze of twisted alleyways until at last a string of paper lanterns appears. Boys in a sickening sea of night. The cherry glow of Red Lantern Lane. By the way, when you stop by, if you like my content, subscribe. You'll know when I'm streaming again. Within waves of jasmine and sandalwood incense, memories wash fear away. This might be the only place that could convince you to keep on living, even just for a night. The gas mantle above the door fills you with fondness, cleansing the rust of your mind-gouging hangover. You've arrived at the Red Lotus Den. Opium den there, no? The only place you've ever felt at home. No need to be pulled along now. You'll go inside willingly. And by the way, welcome to my stream to everyone who's watching live or as a past broadcast. Glad you're here. Glad you stopped by. Okay, happy now? Body aches, persistent nausea from a physical standpoint. I'm barely holding it together. Allow me to rephrase. Have you ever been happy? Let's go with the many years ago. Okay. Many years ago. And what of those memories? So we can either pick I should let them go, but how? Or I'd rather not discuss it, leastwise with him around. Let's take the self-discipline. I should let them go, but how? Watch the feelings bubble up from the past to a soul seated in simple observation. All emotion is water. Solid when frozen by resentment, boiling when enraged, and fluid when at peace. Very philosophical. Accept the pain. Do not let the mind attach to it. That seems reasonable. No, it'll never work. Or yes, there's nothing else I haven't tried. Okay. I like that one. That's right. If you need a break, don't be ashamed. Withdrawals. They can muddle our heads and make us weak. Don't worry. You'll feel better soon. I really like that the drawing is quite nice. This is a steampunk setting in an alternate reality in London, Victorian London, where there are actually fantasy creatures like minotaurs, which is our current character. Towels and bathrobes disarrayed in cubbies. I could change into something more presentable here. But I pawned my extra finery to cover the last bender. No regrets. Okay. So you saw there was an illusionist choice. I remember in the beginning we chose our personality. That does have an effect throughout the game. Let us see if we can get ourselves bathed after digging through the rotten herring. A steam bath awaits your tired bones. Wouldn't it be good to get cleaned up? Yep, take a bath. That might give us some hope as well, right? We're weary, we need hope. Oh, yes, plus 10 hope. Very nice. So we can see our current state. You see here, our temperament is really the hope or lack thereof influences our temperament, and then we have all these personality traits. So it's an interesting game, I think. You can't spin the screen around, by the way. Mahogany bar, a brass lentiled mahogany bar lined with candles, casting eerie shadows on the centaur behind it. His equine muck sweat cuts through the smell of incense. Careful there. Centaurs are known to have short fuses, like us. especially at long hours in service occupations. Okay, so let's read our two choices here. Some centaurs have been kind to me, I won't pass judgment, or cantankerous creatures, sure as sunup. If I had a shilling for every centaur on a power trip. Okay, we are a centaur ourselves, so let's pick number 1. Okay, we gain phlegm. That phlegm corresponds to what I showed you here. So you can see the colors. What about Mr. Browncoat? He's rather unique. I, Bixby Browncoat, the owner here at the Lotus. Most nights he's waiting at the bar, so I hope he hasn't taken ill. So this one we can't choose because we didn't take the illusionist, right? So maybe if I wait around, Bixby will show up. Fortune favors the bold. Let's get this over with. Let's pick number 1. But he could be gone for a while. Must be the press of business drawing him away from the front of the house, okay? The centaur leers. I love some of the language in centaur leers. His misshapen chin, a shelf for his cigarette, jutting from a jangle of bad teeth. Oh, we have those 4 cigarettes, remember? We found those. Maybe that'll be useful here. Good evening, sir. We'd like to gain admittance. The scally, so like a scallywag, ignores him and turns to me instead. Must say I'm impressed by his nerve. Let the cow pie speak. Looks like he's got some quarrel with yours truly. Okay, no quarrel, just here for the Lotus. Is that so? We're here for the Lotus, nothing more. Not buying it. This one's got a screw-up fizz. Okay. What's the matter with you? I'm not used to this brand of potpourri. What an answer. It's a very strange answer. I smile as agreeably as possible. Come on, come now, have a laugh. You must be new here, seeing as how you don't recognize me. Maybe I'll have a word with Bixby about his new staff. Bixby, eh? We'll see about that. He'll be making his rounds any minute. Okay, and there he comes. Out trots Mr. Browncoat, surely coming to see what the fuss is about. He's wearing a long-faced countenance, a gold pocket watch, and a lavender-tinted pince-nez on his aquiline nose. So glasses there that they used to wear. Despite his careful preening, the turbulence of a life lived in the margins shows on his face. Hello, what do we have here? I'm not even started on my rounds and already there's a scuffle in the foyer. So I don't want to get this would be kind of really mean if you think about it. Sorry there, Bixby, but the bouncer was just saying how minotaurs are no longer welcome in your fine establishment. He never said that. So your new bouncer doesn't seem to recognize me. It's innocuous enough. But Mr. Daly is one of our regulars. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Mr. Browncoat. I should have known. We'll talk about this later. As you can see, there are clients to be entertained. Bixby darts a disapproving look at the bouncer. I suppose good help is hard to find, but rest assured, you'll have a private booth and bottomless hot tea on the house. Now, gents, let us away to the Lotus. Okay. Bixby ushers you through a door that leads the way down the back stairs, the stranger on your heels like a stubborn shadow. The Red Lotus is draped in a haze of pale smoke, dotted with flickering candles and incense glowing like cinders in the night. The smell of burning opium is dark and rich, like a batch of floral biscuits with a sharp afterbite. The pale red glow from the Chinese lanterns paints the space in perpetual twilight. It's easy to lose track of time within these walls, whiling away your days in a blissful waking dream. By the way, the opium wars were fought to keep opium flowing into Britain. As far as I understand it, the Brits fought to keep the opium flowing into Britain. So, This is an unfortunate but very poignant part of the history of that time. So we have several things we can look at. What's that gear clattering racket? A jet of steam cuts through the quiet of the den. What a curious machine. I wonder how it works. That is so me. Okay. It's got an arsenal heart drum, but it's a top flight boiler. Ball and socket legs and pressurized feet. There's nothing run of the mill about it. Sorry there, didn't mean to startle you, says the automaton. Off it goes, heading for the private section. And where'd the masked stranger get off to? The floor pit has benches with tufted upholstery and pillows costing a halfpenny an hour. It's a halfpenny. So, yep. It's so late that most of the patrons have gone to sleep. Just before sunup is the only time the Red Lotus is empty. Guess I talked to everyone here the first time. A sleepy poppy head is draped over the mattress in the corner, drooling idly onto his shirt. Fancy that. An errant wallet is poking out of the corner of his shackles. It yearns to be freed. Shits and grins, baby. We failed. We probably lost hope on that one. Easy. I brush his wrist on the way in, but all he does is raise his head slightly as though brushing away a fly. Not bad at all. Why did I think this would be difficult? It would take a London Bridge falling down to wake him. So we got 2 shillings added to our inventory. I had not thought midnight oil had undone so many. Okay, the incense pot. Sticks of heady incense wafted in the air, always burning no matter the flow of customers. Okay. See, is there anything else on this side that we've missed because we were just too far away? I could swear there was an engineer here to whom I could sell my gears the first time I did this. Somewhere I sold my gears. 2 workmen blissfully free of the waking world, as well as their meaningless existence, and when they wake, I should hope they'll be refreshed. Well, let's hope. It doesn't hurt for us to wish other people well. It doesn't cost us anything at all. And this is what I don't understand the Schadenfreude people, Schadenfreude, where they're happy for the misfortune of other people. You don't get anything out of that. I don't get that. A sturdy yet musty old bookshelf. The spines show such titles as Arcane Magic on the Eastern Edge of Ruin, Opium Through the Ages, and Parlor Games. Love in the Dream Time. Ah, the dwarf. He's the one who'll buy our cogs, by the way. Dwarf Evening Stranger. The dwarf has a warm and amiable look with a set of crystal blue eyes, sharply intelligent, and a red mustache that is so full it could crawl off his face and build a cocoon. What a description! His beard is elegantly braided in the common style. I finger the brass rings in my own goatee, which is coarse and stringy by comparison. How'd you do? So, just fine. Some kind of inventor, are you? Again, we kind of got handed this character. We had a little bit of control over choosing what we wanted to do with him. So name's Theodore Redgrave, Brotherhood of Bofins, technical experts, often of a skill considered to be complex, arcane, and difficult. But call me Teddy, most people do. Bofin's Eye, your automation has it got a name? You invent things, gadgets, and the like. The rickety gizmo just about scared me witless. That's not very politic. You look like the tinkering type. If I had a little scrap, would you be interested? We will ask him that eventually. Let's ask him that. Boffin's eye. Oh, yes, the Royal Society funds all kinds of industrial research nowadays. There's a brotherhood for every branch of science. But I'm with the DA, Division of Automatons. Your automaton, has it got a name? It's a little bit more politic there. This here is Otto. Perfectly friendly, he is, if a little odd. Okay, stands to reason, though who among us isn't a little odd? Seems like a good answer. Truth. Struth is truth. It's the truth, right? To je pravda. If I've ever heard it. What can I call you? Atticus Daly. Teddy pats the automaton with his fat paw. Mr. Daly, from the both of us, it's a pleasure. Otto's gonna need some tweaks before the brawls, but we'll have him fit as a fiddle by then. Otto's a brawler, eh? Okay. So far, he's only watched from the sidelines, but someday he'll fight with the other battle traps. No emotion from the automaton, of course, but one can't help but wonder how it feels about all this. I don't think they do feel, do they? See, I'm a hunter of... We're going to finish this chapter, and then we're going to close the stream, by the way. I'm a hunter of fell beast and monster. After the werewolf fights, those outlaw wretches are all tatterdemalion. Okay? Much easier to take in for a bounty. Only 3 days ere the moon is full bellied. I thought they said 2 days in the beginning. Better have a good mind to who you're betting on. Okay, that's quite an occupation. Must never be a dull moment. Or the pit fights. I've been in my fair share. Good for a wager or two. Let's take the second one. Bully, I just knew you were a man of culture. And that's on top of having the kind of stature I look for in a cove. Excuse me. Eager to be on my docket while partaking of the pit fights. Okay. A fetching offer, but I can't commit just yet. Not yet, but we will commit eventually. Besides, the stranger wouldn't want me to be led astray by such endeavors. He strikes me as the kind of fellow who'd cross oceans and deserts while giving chase to his quarries. Okay, wait a minute. If I had a little scrap to sell, would you be interested? That's what we want to do. We want to sell our cogs and gears. Aye, sure. Those cogs are worth a bit of sterling. Okay, sell the cogs that we've collected. 18 sterling have been added to our inventory. Pleasure doing business with you. Take care, Teddy. So we've got £3 all told. I thought they were worth £1 each, but they're not. Bleh. Bleh. So the masked stranger. Okay, so we need to head to the back and talk to him. But first, let's go see about this dreamer. Another gentle customer on the journey to the land of Nod. Another chicken asking to get plucked. Perhaps I'll have a rifle through his pockets. Wow, we're just sucking at this today, aren't we? When he decides to turn over, I've got my hand buried in his pocket and can't quite draw it out in time. He raises his eyelids with a glacial slowness as if lifting a heavy weight of potatoes. Oh, no. He seems to blurrily regard me for several awkward moments and then sinks into the slumber again. Oof. Perhaps I'm not the deft hand I used to be. You suck. That's all I can say. Lattice wooden screens and high-backed seating provide some comfort and privacy for those who can afford it. The booths are made of a luxurious calf leather. Ooh. Calf leather. My poor brothers and sisters skinned for creature comfort. The leather is well oiled and plush with dimpled riveting, delicate china, and Exclusive menus of the den's offerings are available here for those of a more discerning taste. Seems I'm in for a treat on account of the stranger's pocketbook as fat as a Christmas goose. Let's show a little restraint. So, still, I'd like to know what his motive is, why he invited me here. Okay, whatever his angle, there must be something in it for me. It's worth seeing what he's after. Infuriating, but I can't keep the crone from intruding. Nevertheless, the stranger is waiting on me. Okay, let's get to this. The menu is embossed with an array of oral morphines, liquid and powder cocaines, and all manner of midnight opium. So there are drug themes in this, as we see. You don't have to go for them, as we've also seen. Teddy seems an interesting chap, and the Ottoman is quite interesting, isn't it? Bugger the small talk. Why did you bring me here? We've got plenty of time for explanations. Why don't we start with a sample of some of the den's wares? Careful now. He's obviously trying to curry favor, although it would be good to loosen up. With so many dear poisonous variations, it's hard to decide what will hit the spot. Okay, I must say, I'm impressed with your discretion. I would have thought that any fix would do. You're just greasing the wheels for whatever it is you want, or thanks, I suppose, but I know it's not from the kindness of your heart. Let's take that one. Okay, well, we'll see if you sang the same tune when it's said and done. Now then, while you're thinking about the entree, I'll prepare the appetizer. I don't know what's going on. He didn't get his pain medicine today, but he doesn't seem to need it. So he takes a small tablet. I'm talking about my rabbit, by the way, the one that's racing around in the background. He takes a small tablet out of his shirt sleeve, cracks it in half, and drops it into my teacup. The other half goes into his own. Well, you can't expect me to drink that. Half and half, an equal dose. I wouldn't kill us both now, would I? Very well, we'll drink the tea. Gives us plus 20 hope. Ooh, what did that do for us? So now we're optimistic as our temperament. Yeah, baby. Well then, cheers to not killing anyone. The drugged tea restores my spirits instantly. Took me ages to perfect this remedy. With this new blend, that ghastly teeth-gnashing anxiety's gone, leaving just the euphoria. Anyone who's ever had massive migraines and had to have a shot in their butt of Demerol and Phenergan knows from what I read, I had to have those when I was younger, and apparently that's what heroin feels like. I didn't know that. It's just this wave of you're just out. It's wonderful. It really is. But my thing about not being able to become addicted to anything like that is because I like self-control and there's too much I want to do with my life. So seems this stranger is no stranger to drugs. The pain of my withdrawals are all but absent now. Perhaps I should have gone back and picked pockets afterward. And the main course, how about a white wind elation? You must be fond of that one. Oh, his lighthearted confidence seems like a front. I get the feeling he knows you better than he's letting on. So any sort of psychic barrier is useless. The bothersome hag won't leave me be. And here I am face to face with a telepath. Enough of this facade. Not only did you pick my local place, but you pretend to suggest my favorite blend like it was a lucky guess. I know a little something about you, it's true, but it's part and parcel to my profession. I keep tabs on people who pique my interest. Let's say number 2. What exactly is your profession? My wit has increased to 20. Ooh. Let's say I look after Her Majesty's interests with great vigor when they align with my own. What an interesting occupation. Or maybe it's a profession. Maybe he actually gets paid for it. That's what the difference used to be. An occupation was something to occupy your time, and a profession was something that you got recompensed for or paid to do. At first, his cryptic speech was alluring, but now it's plainly an annoyance. Get on with it. You've tried my patience long enough. Very well. I already know your life as a roughneck and a panhandling mage, but what about before that? What about the Sacred Heart? Okay, so let's be honest then. We don't have any other choice. It was where I grew up before I looted the nuns' coffers and took to the streets. By the way, everyone who pops into my stream, either live or as a past broadcast, welcome to my stream. If you like my content, subscribe so you'll know when I'm on here. And I do stream various games. I also have some serious vlogs where we talk about issues that people don't really like to talk about. So I gathered as much. What I'm not sure about is your parents. Okay, let's retrospectively tell the truth then. It's interesting that the viewer count keeps going up, but the concurrent viewers doesn't. It's really weird. My mother likely gave me up because she couldn't pay my keep, and I suppose my father either died or walked out on us. So the sisters never told you anything about your parents? Okay, we only have one choice. I can't say for sure, but it's too bloody unpleasant to think about. Okay, if the memory's there, we can call it back gently. This fellow's lost his mind. Something occurred at the Sacred Heart that you've forgotten. With the help of an opium dream, you might recall the details that will lead you to your mother. Hey, we only have one choice again. Normally we have more, but I think that we've brought our hope up so high that it may have actually shut out some other choices for us. Let's go back just a second. I want to read this. What does it say? Influencing humor, yellow bile. Okay. Humor to the next level. Okay, so that's the animal instinct is the swords. So that's the wands. It's the cups, and that's the coins. It's interesting because wands is typically fire, and yet they've chosen to assign the air to the animal instinct. Okay, so aloha. Lead me to her graveside, you mean? What would that accomplish? Okay. On the contrary, I believe she's alive. Her name came up on a ledger at Bethnal House, which is a famous sanitarium for the insane, by the way, for the mentally unbalanced. I've seen my share of swindlers, but this takes the cake. Think he's swindling you? What would he accomplish here? Okay, just humor me for a moment. Matilda is, of course, her given name, but how about her family name? Our choices are, if I ever knew it, there's no chance in Hades I'd remember it now, or I don't think the sisters at the orphanage ever told me what it was. Let's pick number 1. Okay. But if you could recall Matilda's family name, and it's on record at the orphanage, and matches the ledger at Bethnal House, you could prove her identity at the hospital, and by claiming kinship, set her free. She left us there. That means digging up memories of the Sacred Heart. Not exactly how I thought the night would unfold. Okay, I'm sure my mother's alive. I'm sure if my mother's alive, she's forgotten me. Even if what you describe is possible, why shall I want to find her? Number 2. And that's up to your own discretion, of course, and I cannot share my own motives for the truth. He's dreadfully oblique, isn't he? Okay, opaque, sorry. I cannot... Well, Bleaky might be too. I cannot force your hand, but unless you can think back to those troubling times, then you won't be worth more than the price on your head. Oh. A bounty, I'm assuming you'd be happy to collect. That's right. Albeit less desirable, it's another way to ensure that I won't needs an apostrophe, have wasted my time. He's offering me a chance to live, but only if I can draw up those memories. So I'm a technical writer, by the way, and I was trained as an historian, came to Germany. My education was not acknowledged, and I was offered a schooling as a technical writer. That's why I automatically correct the language. So what'll it be? The dream dose and the voyage between the banks of memory, or the death dose and the end of your days? See, I had this offered to me last time because I wasn't quite so optimistic, and now we don't have this choice. So let me think. I'll take the dream dose. So we're going to play through the scenes here, and then this will be over, and we'll end the stream after this. Because when you go into chapter 2, you start a different character. That much I've done. So you take the stranger's offer, eager to lose touch with the harsh reality, or the harshness of reality, however you want to say it, for a chance to recall everything that could lead to your mother's whereabouts. There's nothing wrong with that sentence, by the way. Shortly after drifting away from consciousness, you find yourself being enveloped in a miasma of repressed memories. The stranger's recent inquiries reminding you of growing up in the Sacred Heart orphanage. Auntie Emma's, that's not such an Auntie M. Auntie Emma's warm embrace suddenly morphs into chilly restraints as remembrances of dooryard scuffles with bellicose orphans resurface. It's as if life's refusing to allow you to seek refuge from tangible hardships, no matter how potent your drug of choice for escapism is. Probably he has something to do with that. Really have to click on that. This place is surely a dream, but it's all too familiar. You must find out what the stranger is seeking in your memories. That's true. Patently so. So we can't really see that little thing comes up whenever we can't go somewhere. And in essence, this is a very guided dream. Excuse me, or dream world. Let's go talk to the sister then. The courtyard is nothing but hard-packed sand and scruffy grass. Heloise watches over the children at play. By this time, you were big enough to give as good as you got, and the ones who wouldn't fight you insulted you with abandon. As the others adapted, I became more isolated. I often thought of running away. Atticus, you'll be 12 years old in a week's time. There's something I need to tell you. What's the difference? I'm getting out of here as soon as I can. Okay, now, Atticus, let's hear what she has to say. Okay, it's about your mother. I should have told you sooner, but I didn't know how. I'm sorry, Atticus. I wish I'd been braver. Okay, at least you're telling me now before I quit this place. The day you arrived, there was a ring wrapped around your blankets. You're old enough to have it now, and your mother left this too. Heloise hands you an old piece of parchment, a note from your mother. Can you make it out what it says? Okay. Our choices are no, there's no message, I can't produce the memory, or there's nothing written down, it's a blank piece of paper. Let's try number 1. At least it seems like we're trying, you know. The truth will come in time, okay? I'm sorry I kept this from you for so long. Did she ever come back for me? Yes, she came back half a year later and insisted you were her child. She mentioned the note and knew the date we found you on the steps. But why didn't I go with her? Hush, Heloise is coming to that. Okay. As your mother signed at the registry, a horse and buggy drew up outside. There was a terrible shout as someone bowled over the sister at the door. When this fellow burst in, your mother went stiff as a corpse. Could it have been my father? I don't know who he was, but he struck a panic in my heart. There was malice in his every step. Very melodramatic. A twitching, insidious man. He took your mother and she never returned. Get me out of this nightmare. So White Wind Elation is never like this. Ooh, I still think the masked stranger is helping to control this, is what I think. Perhaps you were too young to hear the tale. Okay, hearing this from Heloise heartened me at the time, but it still didn't change the fact that I couldn't stand the Sacred Heart. The orphanage. After I fled the orphanage, I did search for my mother until I decided there was nothing I could do. Perhaps not then, but this is now. Okay. So, let's look at the statue. It's also available to us. The open arms of an angel were purely symbolic. I never had a home in this dreadful place. I had to grow a thick skin in my younger years, even if it made me more socially impenetrable. Yeah, I get that. I keep pressing the tab key periodically to see what we can do. I see you've recovered from your latest round of fisticuffs. Anything to say for yourself? So our choices are, I'm getting stronger all the time. My hide is getting coarser, thickening. Or sometimes it's like I go blind for a few minutes, and when I wake up, I'm crying and cut up and everyone's staring at me and laughing. Let's pick number 1. There are many ways to be strong, dear boy. It's time you learn what your bloodline is capable of. Must be another ploy to get me to stay, but I'll be 13 in a few months, and then I'm running off for good. Being singled out as a minotaur, always having insults thrown at you, is terrible. The bright spot is that you have a gift of magic, and you can develop your talents if you study the tarot. She fans out the colorful cards. They seem to buzz with an eerie electricity. Look closely at this card, the Magician, a symbol of new beginnings. One arm to the heavens and the other toward the earth. He is a conduit between the spiritual and the material realms. The Magician transmutes potential energy from its ethereal state into perceptible forms. Okay, can't say I'm buying it, but I'm listening. That's the spirit. Minotaurs are magical creatures, and like this magician, you are a conduit. I committed the spell to memory long ago. I'll share it with you, but only if you promise, only with your promise of wholehearted trust. Okay, Heloise, I know you wouldn't lead me astray. I trust you. And I trust you, Atticus, because if my superiors should learn of this, I'd never wear the habit again. Now, this is a cantrip, which is a very minor spell. You must speak it over and over until it is written across your mind in bold letters. Her voice drops into a strange low whisper. Sight from the fire, hearing from the aether, smell from the air, taste from the water, touch down to the earth in another form. Aristotle defined 5 senses: sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. Which reminds me, I will be doing a podcast on the concept of infinite dimensions and what that means to us. I hope you all will join me for that. Corresponding to the elements of fire, air, water, earth, and aether. It's ether. It's related to our 5 senses, by the way. I think I understand except that bit about the ether. Okay, ether is the energy propelling each heartbeat, the same material in the soul and in the consciousness of all blooded creatures. Those with proper training can channel ether into the earthly sphere. Therein lies the power of the cantrip, the ability to transmute energy into matter. Interesting. So the abstract into the concrete. In a way of speaking. Ether is tied to hearing, so first you must learn to listen. You must hear the winds and the whiles of the heavens. I see the night is getting on. What about the rest? So we will try to remember. We had a pretty good chance. The Knight of Wands. Beautiful. This character has gained the illusionist trait and will now be able to select dialogue options that require that trait. We've seen several of them that we could not pick. The High Priestess, a guardian of secrets, of magic, and of the unknown. I held my hands over the tarot cards and we sat quietly until I heard a voice like an aural mirror, as if the words were backwards. Then I felt my lips moving, and when I opened my eyes, we were breathing the words of the cantrip in unison. The memory cuts to the quick, but at least it's still intact. Well done. Moving right along. Is it time to wake up? I dare say I'm ready for this to be over. The bits of colored chalk were the most sought after. It's too bad they were so often wasted on crude drawings. Okay, so we've got 3 of the major arcana so far for this character. A teddy bear with a missing eye and a matted mohair fur. It suffered the pitfalls of a rough life in the orphanage, just like the rest of us. This was my bed right next to Snyder. And here in the footlocker, I kept a few trinkets. Worthless, a lot of them. Peonies, okay. The peonies, these purple darlings, brightened up the dreary place picked fresh from the schoolyard by Leo. When midnight strikes, I'll be 13 years of age. Father Franco keeps the orphanage funds in the private office. That's my ticket out of here. Sneak past Snyder. We succeeded. We succeeded. Okay, quiet as a ghost. Now I'd better make for the office where they keep the coin. Sounds very dishonest. But as a child, I'm sure that he felt that was his only way out. There's enough here to get me started on my own. Pay dirt. I'll be 100 leagues between me and... I'll put 100 leagues between me and the Sacred Heart. Okay. What was that? Sound came from the hallway. The house is roused. I better make my exit. Okay, so now our choices are someone's coming. My only way out is through the window, or 20-foot drop from the second story. This is the British spelling, by the way. But I'd rather have a twisted ankle than a date with a willow switch. Let's pick the spryness. Okay. There's a voice in the corridor, then a pale shape that emerges from the shadows. Stealing this money, it hurt the Sacred Heart. We fell behind. We skipped over holidays and knitted clothes for the children. This memory's been twisted by the guilt you feel from it, taking a new shape to prevent this sort of behavior again. Who cares? It was ages ago, and I'll behave however I damn well please. Okay, so we have 2 choices. I'm sorry, Heloise, I had no other choice, or I needed this money. How else would I have made it on my own? Okay, I never like this phrase, I had no choice. There's always a choice. May not be a very pretty one, but it's there. Okay, the same way that we made our way without it. But alas, my child, the past is in the past, and there's only one way to make it right. I think that's all I have left that I can do is exit through the window. Normally, I'd say that drifting into a deep sleep would be a merciful release from reliving such memories. Yet something compels me to push on, to be put through the ringer, to face that greatest of foes, myself. When I was young, I thought that money was the most important thing in life. Now that I am old, I know that it is. Oscar Wilde. So this is chapter 2. We will take up here next time. Okay. It's not going to let me. It's not going to let me bail yet. Okay, so in chapter 2, we start playing Clara Reed. Navigate London as the sharp and savvy courtesan, which is a fancy word for a prostitute, Clara Reed before new crimes and the markings of her past catch up to her and tear her life apart. So I still can't ditch out. But we will pick this then, and then we will save, and we will pick up here next time. Clara uses her sharp wit and tact to navigate the perils of London's upper class, but she's haunted by the choices of her past. Will she let those choices hold her back or search for a better future? So here are our 4 archetypes we can choose from. Number 1, intuition. She learned to hone her sharp intuition from a young age. One can rarely hope to survive or thrive in tenuous situations if they haven't learned to listen to their gut. That is very true. Grace, quick on her feet, quick with her hands, and quick to laugh. These are all tools that both disarm most conflicts and left Clara with enough pep and verve to want to keep moving forward. That sounds very tempting, doesn't it? Intellect, bookish and whip smart. Since childhood, she took comfort in spending long hours in pursuit of knowledge. A shield against the pressures of the world and a sword against those who sought to control her. Tact. A social chameleon by necessity, Clara learned to say exactly what others needed to hear. The right words can topple kings, or at least keep you unperceived for another night. This one doesn't tempt me as much. When I was younger, I would have taken that one without even thinking about it. So we have the moon here, we have strength here, and we have the emperor here. This one's going to give us intuition, grace, and intellect. This will give us grace, intuition, and tact. This will give us tact, intellect, and grace. Quick on her feet, quick with her hands, and quick to laugh. That gives her a little bit of tact at least. This gives you no tact. Tact is quite important, I feel. Being someone who lacks it to at least some extent. I have to be in fit form for my tact to show. This one is really, really tempting, though. It's true, your intuition keeps you. It's a huge. She's stubborn. You never seem to stop, even if your aching mind and body implore you to do so. Determined, which might sound like the same thing. You spring into unremitting action as soon as the die is cast. And this was the other one I was considering. Chameleon. You can blend in with many social circles. That actually sounds very tempting, doesn't it? We would be lacking intuition. Wow. Let's just go ahead and pick this one. We'll pick tact. I think it might come in handy, although I'm going to miss the intuition. So I'll read this, and then we should be able to save this, and we can pick up tomorrow where we left off. Revolutionary feats of engineering and shameless displays of wealth. A common sight in London, yet rarely does one come across that which combines technological prowess and financial abundance. Enter Silas's airship. This is, I don't know why. Is this a British thing? Because in American English, we just put the apostrophe, we don't put another S on the end. I'm not sure if that's a British thing. Its gilded frame and sheer size, literally and figuratively, cast a deep shadow over the city's slums and wealthy districts. Shafts of sunlight filter through windows that wrap around each of the airship's rooms, bathing them and their occupants in a warm glow. Pipes and polished wooden floors rumble to the spinning of the airship's propellers. You feel like you're standing within a slice of the future. So that is our next chapter that we will be dealing with. We will take up here. Why can't I save the game? I can't save the game. Morning already. Can't stay here forever. I still have much to do before I leave London. Good thing Silas already delivered my payment. So, why can't I save my game? He was up before me. I wonder if he's still aboard the ship. Okay, she failed to take in the atmosphere. Can't be sure what he's up to, but I do hear him bustling around somewhere on board. He rarely lets me leave without ensuring our next appointment is set. So my choices are, excuse me, my head still aches from all that whiskey and he was pouring me last night, or last night was no bed of roses. But it wasn't all bad. At least once I've quit London, I won't have to entertain Silas anymore. Let's pick that one. Is that you, sweet thing? Up at last, are we? Better get going. Too busy to lay abed. Can I save it now? Okay, we can save it now. New save. This is my streaming game. So let's save that. And then we will end our stream for today. I want to thank everyone who stopped by. I want to thank everyone who will stop by. If you like my content, follow me. If you have feedback, suggestions, that'd be great. And beyond that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you again. I hope that you're finding the game entertaining. It's like most games, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. What do you want to say? So, but I think it's kind of cute. It's a little bit tedious, but it's kind of cute. I think I'm enjoying it. And yeah, hope you'll join me tomorrow. So y'all take care. Bye-bye.